happy. I've been through some things, been through the storm and rain, and I know I just gotta release it. Time can heal a wound, time can heal the pain, but will I be whole again? I just wanna be free. Let it go and be free. I wanna be free. I never gave up on me. Learned how to guard my heart, love and still think smart, cause hurt you can't foresee. Now I know that I'll go on and be okay. All these memories, part of my history. I can't be stuck in yesterday. I wanna be free. I want my dreams that were stolen and washed away when Mary showed up on this shore. I'm breaking the bondage that was built here. I'm moving on, create a new life and show the world a new me, a stronger me. Heard your time expired a long time ago. It's time for me to walk away.
EXP, shout out to Silly Grin, back again on the beat, beating you in the head with that hard shit. The fuck you know about that? Y'all ain't ready for this. The fuck y'all thought? Get him shot. It's that boom bap party, shooting down the target. Send my regards to his mother and his father. Consumed by the demons, I purge it from my conscience. Load another clip, let it go, I got a monstrous flow hysterical, let him know we act retarded. This a crucial conflict, these bars sick as nauseous. As AIDS is real, as apes is Congo. As deadly as Rambo on the sights of a longbow. Harm your frills with my bars so ill. Guard your still, run along and squill. If a frog gon' tell, then a bra gon' smell. You on your breath, puzzled look on you still. What you saying, dog? Money wasted on an outlook that's doomed. Got you pacing, long look on your face like it's not a chance with Sean. EXP with my squad.
This beat is straight sickening. So when we spit this nicotine, physically addicting. So listen till you're sick of me. I script it critically acclaimed. Nas for the underground, lyrically insane. Feel it in your brain as I say something wild. I bet they shut it down when JK come around. It's EXP, put it in the air, yeah, you heard of me. Playing for a decade, it's my 10-year anniversary. Bunch of weed currency, better believe I'm currently still doing my thing. Neck deep in we the team that reppin' and made, yeah, you see that? Even the tat on my arm is rocking a B-hat. When we rap, it's a movement, gaining momentum. You better move when we do this, we'll be banging against you. We some dangerous angels of death coming to get you. Reaper style in the reefer cloud, make you keep the speakers loud.
I'm so gutter, the motherfucking throat cutter. I'm so raw like cocaine with no cutter. You know my squad is gon' bang, so don't run up. We go hard, flow flames, we don't shut up. Who want rock with me? Hit you off properly. Spit some bars, then hit the bar, come take a shot with me. Do it sloppily, claiming that you dropping heat. Yeah, you show a lot of teeth, but really you don't wanna beef. It's time to get out the sport if you cannot compete. Every time they drop a beat, I kill it cause I gotta eat. Versus if you want the heat, muscle if you want the beef. Got that marijuana cheap, tell me what it's gonna be. I'm a pro with the slick talk, fresh like a Ziploc. Keep them L's rolled, I'm ready for lift off. Slight me, don't get it in if you're soft. Even your chick loves my shit, she dancing the
Not a pretty looking son of a by any means, but my personality stays shining like Mr. Clean. I'ma focus on the present, the future is all a dream. And I seen bonds break through the egos and greed. We all one, moving in unit instead of one-on-one. You're just looking stupid in this land I'm from, the guns rule. You think not, sonny, you a fool. Forget not, no not slacking, smarts back to school. Knowledge is key, confidence finish a close second. Third will be the willing to fizzle out this aggression. Part 4 is all of my dedication and force. Navigating through all of you yes men on my course. High depth, but I'm old school like NES, the Sega Genesis. EXP click, bang your head to this. Russell equals excellence, Boston on the map. Haverhill mass, throw your X up in the air and holla back.
Islamic militant, death coming imminent. Styling pre-infinite, silly grin on the instruments. EXP with the intricate syllabus, cold as Inuits. For type of fire spitting, you ain't pack enough them insolence. Welcome to America, beat you for your insolence. A socialistic influence and patriots resilience. So from the king period, legend inscribed the pyramids. Taking you to war like jihadists and them Syrians. From serious, when syllables silky smooth and delirious. Sentences, sentences smashing you sissies, that's nefarious. Hilarious, some arrogance, domination and perilous. Created the Sumerians, who the f*** is you barreling? Have you sucking some barrels and bow you straight inheriting a slug down your throat like I'm JFK and you Maryland. Injecting you with sarin and AIDS is my lone comparison. Like Winehouse's boxes the way that I'm ever steriling.
Tell him MG. Never rat on your family. Never. Filthy. Use the best shit.
The City of Brockton is now in your hands. The Brockton, Mass. City of Champions app is a revolutionary civic app that will give whoever downloads it a full picture of the City of Brockton. Users of this app can discover new businesses and restaurants, have access to the local transit system schedule, learn who the Brockton elected officials are, explore attractions and amenities, and stay up to date with the latest news and information going on in the City of Champions. Among the many amazing features of the app is its business directory feature. This business directory is comprised of over 2,000 known businesses in the City of Champions. Business owners who claim their business will have the advantage of free promotion on the app. They will have the ability to inform users of their menus, special deals and discounts, and any other pertinent information. Here's how to claim your business. First, on a laptop or computer, visit claim.mycivicapps.com and click the Claim My Business button at the bottom of the screen. Next, type in Brockton, Mass. City of Champions plus your business name in the appropriate search bars. Once your business appears on the screen, press Claim, enter a name, email, and password for the account, and click Continue. Finally, fill out all of your pertinent business information. This includes everything from the business location, hours, and more. Once complete, click the Save and Send to Moderator button for final approval. Once the moderator approves, your account is all yours to customize and use however is best for your business. If you cannot find your business on the app, please email listmylocalbusiness@gmail.com, and a moderator will ensure your business is inputted into the app for you to claim. The Brockton, Mass City of Champions app is available for download on both the Apple and Android app stores. Download the app today.
Fighting critters in the front yard, ever feel like you're in the front lines? You buy tons of name brand canned killers that swear up and down they'll take out the problem first spray. Well, our intel says otherwise. Forget all that. Call us, Old Colony Pest Control. Tell them that Red Revere sent you. We handle commercial and residential pest control needs. Take care of anything from ants, roaches, ticks, mosquitoes, rats, and more. No wildlife or termites at this time. Call us at 774-400-5993, and we'll bring in the big guns.
Sugar the Play, a Cash Team production, is looking for actors and singers to fill several slots for this upcoming live play. For more information, please call 216-394-8926. That's Sugar the Play, auditions at 216-394-8926.
No individual having the opportunity to have a better life for themselves or for their children, if they have the chance to scale a wall, to swim across a river, they're going to take it.
And the sad thing is, most Americans don't know what freedom really is.
We will move forward to pass comprehensive immigration reform and a path towards citizenship.
They are laying waste to the very American Republic that has been the greatest country in the history of the world.
I did agree with some of the things that Donald Trump did, right? Because I do believe that there should be a vetting process.
Is that unreasonable to ask? Make sure you're not affiliated with any gangs. Why would we want you here? Get out.
The majority of the crimes that I prosecute as the chief law enforcement officer in Suffolk County are citizens of this country.
We grow enough here, we don't need to import more. If I could deport them, I would.
USA! USA! USA!
Life is so hard in Haiti or in the country that they had before, they'll take the risk of getting caught.
If you have $5,000-$10,000 to pay a coyote to bring you illegally across the border, pay to apply and come here legally.
She always said that, like, my situation is different, that I don't have the same opportunities as everyone else.
I'm not going to tell you about their life walk. I'm not going to tell you about how they got here. I'm not going to tell you about the journey they're experiencing. No, that doesn't matter. Them, they.
Sooner or later, I started to get brought into like meetings with lawyers.
On day one, we end a border policy which allows federal agents to snatch babies from the arms of their mothers.
That's when I realized, like, I'm an outcast.
Where's my protection? Where's my family's protection?
I need to know who you are, because if I sneak into Mexico and I commit a crime, there's no documentation of me being in Mexico.
We come from, maybe different backgrounds, but we share similar experiences.
I am you.
I am you. In the end, we remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends.
What up, everybody? Kevin Jackson here. If you feel the need and you want to get in touch with the hot topics from today's headlines, you got to check out The Booth with Keith Sinister One Hayes. Tell him Kevin Jackson sent you.
It's caught in the crossfire.
The following conversation is real. It took place on Tuesday, June 8th of 2004 between a Blonde Star advisor and a subscriber.
Blonde Star Emergency, this is Steve. Is there an
your vehicle.
Oh my god. I've locked myself in my car and the keys are on the outside.
Ma'am,
oh my god.
Ma'am, I need you to calm down.
Okay, it's just that the windows are rolled up and I'm starting to sweat. My keys are on the outside.
Now, your keys are on the outside of the vehicle?
Yes, oh my god.
Now, does your car have automatic locks or...
Yes.
Okay, here's what I need you to do. Take hold of the inside of your door handle there. Are you doing this? The shiny thing. Grab the shiny thing.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, now give that a tug.
Okay.
Did it open?
Yes, oh my god, thank you.
Okay, now what is that noise?
Oh, that's my door alarm.
Yeah, but that only happens if the keys are in the ignition, hun.
Oh my god. You know what?
Your keys are actually in your ignition.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, thank you so much, Blonde Star.
That's why we're here. Do you need anything else?
Blonde Star. Always on, because you're always blonde.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
This is blasphemy. This is madness. This is the booth.
Sit down.
Do something else!
No.
Do something else! Christ, that's it! That's all we want! Do something else! Do something else! Holy!
All right, it's your boy Sinister One broadcasting live from the City of Champions. You are listening and watching The Booth. And if you love this show, if you like this show, guys, I know you do. I've been checking my analytics, and I've got people watching from all over the world. Just make sure to smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe on all the places that you're listening. If you're on Anchor, Spotify, all the podcast sites, much love to everybody for tuning in. I got to thank my big guests from last week. Last week was the first Tuesday of the month, and I had my guys on. Ken Diesel, R Squared, Robert Resnick, Ken Diesenhoff, both attorneys, and they locked it down. We talked about some lawyer stuff with some legal stories, and then we broke down the Ukraine invasion, which is now in its 13th day. And I'm going to get into that later in the show during the Biden bombshells section. Before we get into my first guest, as you can see, she's up in the left-hand corner. My sponsors, Michael Douglas Barreto, MDB Electronics. That's where I get my controllers fixed on my Xbox. If something goes wrong, I send it out to him. 24, 48 hours, I'm back to gaming. As you can see, I got my Boba Fett on here right now. My artist, Vianna Marie, her music is streaming everywhere. We showed out for Melodic's event in New Hampshire last week, and then she's got a performance coming up on March 23rd I'm going to talk about. Tactical Target Systems, that's where I get my targets from, that you see me when I take some time to go to the range and blow off some steam. Those are my zombie targets there, because I'm a black guy who's afraid of the zombie apocalypse. I'm damn scared of the zombie apocalypse, to the point where I want to be the next Rick Grimes, like I say every time on this show. So I'm just going to hold it down and make sure I'm ready to go. But it looks like I'm going to need some Russian targets, because we might have Red Dawn up in here, so we'll see. T-shirt winner, my last T-shirt winner, Felicia. There's her and her kids showing off the T-shirt she got from ILoveBostonSports.com, one of my sponsors. You can win a shirt. Actually, I had a winner last week. He was in the chat. He was talking all types of smack and crack. But, like I said, if you talk in the chat and you're making my analytics go up, you can win a shirt. I picked him for a shirt. Guess what? He didn't answer, so I'll have to pick another winner. So we'll go from there. Mike Smith was our winner before that. And then Old Colony Pest Control, veteran owned by Carl Bonnell, 774-400-5993. Spring is coming. You want to get these pests out of your house or keep them from coming in the house? Give Carl Bonnell a call, Old Colony Pest Control. Now, before we get into the news booth, we're going to have an interview with my first guest on the left-hand side. I actually met her through a contact, Gloria Shea, who has a play coming out this year called Sugar the Play. And this woman here was actually trying out for one of the parts, but she's a comedian. She's a funny lady. Her name is C.C. Bullock. What's going on?
Hi, Keith. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
No, I love having you on, and big props to your son for helping you out, getting this online, man. He's a good dude. You know, I like seeing guys helping their moms out. You know, so many kids out there need to recognize and help their moms out. So I'm giving them a big applause for that, getting her all straight with the Zoom and all that stuff. And but we got to talk about this. You know, let's talk about this play first, because that's how I met you. I met you through you auditioning for this play, Sugar the Play, and you know, even though you do comedy, is this play something that you're looking forward to doing and being involved with?
Without a doubt. I read for Lola, which is the lead, and we had our third audition, the first one in person on Saturday, and we had a nice turnout. Matter of fact, a comedian friend, Jen, and another friend of mine, Donna, and I was a theater kid. So I am really looking forward to this. And Gloria and I, it seems like I've known her for years, but we've actually known each other about the same amount of time that I've known you. So I am.
Wow.
Yeah, we just met. So the two interviews were with you and Gloria via Zoom. And then we had the first in-person interview, but audition, but I'm very excited about this journey.
Nice. We got a lot of people in the chat. What's going on? Travis Partington, host of the Oscar Mike radio show. He's got a great show coming up Thursday night. So you guys want to make sure to check his show out. It's co-produced by myself, Cinestorm Productions. Dave, what's going on? I see you in the chat. Dave Haggerty. All you guys, thank you for supporting this show. And comedy. I saw some of your stuff. I saw your interview when you were on Gloria's show. And you got some funny stuff out there. You're all over the place in Cleveland. You're doing improv and things of that sort. How did you get started in comedy?
Wow. Well, believe it or not, I wanted to be the next Anita Baker or the next Paula Abdul. My base is Cleveland Institute of Music and Dance since I was like 5. So I've always wanted to be on stage, and I always entertained with my dad. And my mom was Best Dressed 1970 in Ebony magazine. So I've been on a catwalk since a newborn, but as far as comedy goes, I dated a couple of comedians in the improv circuit. Ron Ramey, who we lost to cancer, I believe, in 2015. And then Mark Reedy, who is still around. And Mark used to be my hairstylist in Chicago, and he did part-time comedy at All Jokes Aside, which used to be was a black-owned comedy spot. They're no longer in business. Mark now lives in Cleveland, but he was the one that told me, Cheryl, you got to do comedy. So he told me to take the improv class with Dave Swenson, and I've taken it, I believe, 3 times, and I've hosted it twice. I just hosted, not even a month ago, I hosted the graduating class. And now I just celebrated my 4-year anniversary last week. So I've been doing stand-up for 4 years.
Wow, and I applaud you because I actually just shared a video about 18 years ago. We used to have a stand-up comic who used to come on this show. He was the postman. And he would come on and do these things on every Friday, and then he blew us off a couple of Fridays, so I kind of gave it to him, and he's like, well, stand-up isn't that easy. So he challenged me to do stand-up.
Oh, my God.
And for 2 weeks, I had to write my own jokes, and then I had to actually do my own stand-up routine. So if anybody is looking to see it, it's actually on my Facebook page. I actually just posted because during that time, Obama was running for president. Gas prices were at an all-time high, and I did a whole routine kind of based on that. But I'll tell you right now, it's nerve-wracking.
I'm definitely going to check it out. But
it is nerve-wracking because I had to come up with how am I going to open for these people And, for me, it was, I took what I watched from all the guys in my experience with stand-up comedy started with my dad and my mom when they would drag out those comedy records, those Red Fox, those Shirley Caesar records, those Richard Pryor records, and the records that they listened to when company came by and you was drinking or sipping on a little bit of something. Then when everybody left, those would go back into the crate and go back into the closet. Then when your parents went out, you pulled those records out and you listened to those records. And that's how I started liking, the Red Foxes, all these people. Then, as I got older, I remember my dad taking us to see the Richard Pryor comedy movies, and then Eddie Murphy hit the scene. And then that was, I was in the 80s and 90s. So for me, Eddie Murphy was it. And then Chris Rock. And then now we have who've inspired. Now, you talked about doing improv and stuff. And that's funny because I feel like even today, I feel like improv comedy doesn't get the respect that it fully deserves. Everybody's all about the stand-up comedy, but I feel like your great comedians are the ones who take that time and perfect their craft in improv. I feel like improv is the real way to kind of show your comedic skills. There was an improv show on NBC where they just threw topics at you, and you had to. So how do you feel? Because I saw you do the Cleveland Improv Theater and stuff. How is that? What do you like better? Do you like stand-up better, or do you like improv?
Well, I like them both, but improv, the show I think you're talking about is Whose Line Is It Anyway? Or something with Drew Carey and Wayne Brady. So that's hard to do. But see, I'm a storyteller. So everything that I say on stage has really happened. So I talk about raising twins. I talk about having a son with autism. I talk about being divorced, being married, adultery, all of that. Every single thing that I say on stage for 4 years has been absolutely true. A lot of people don't know that. But Lonnie Love called me up on stage. It was a sold out crowd at the Improv. And she was like, what I like about you, first thing she asked me, and no one's ever asked me this, what kind of comedian are you? I said, a storyteller. And she sipped her drink and critiqued me in front of a sold out crowd. And I mean, you can't take pictures in the Improv. So all I have is the memories. But it was, I just couldn't believe it. And my friend that was with me, she was like, Cheryl, you nailed it. Well, I trained at the Improv every Saturday, 3 Saturdays a month, noon to 4. And then you perform in front of a live audience after that last Saturday class, that following Wednesday. And Dave Swenson, he helped me to create CC Bullock. Yeah, but I like them both. But improv is something you have to really have a skill set. I go to acting school. I go to Hode Acting School. I'll start back again. And there's an improv class every Sunday night. And I put in, sometimes I'm there for 5 hours a day. Oh, wow. Oh yeah. 5 hour days. Hode, and that's like 3 or 4 times a week. Yeah.
And what kind of things do you do in your improv? What kind of things do they throw at you?
We do icebreakers, and we do where we all stand in a line. They give us a topic, and we get up there and say the topic, and then somebody can break in, and they have to continue the story from where we left off. So there's some class members that are too scared to get up in the audience, but then we line up, and that's how we do it. And then, we get back in line and we keep doing it. And you have to continue the story that whoever the first comedian or actor, actually, it's not a comedy school, where they left off. It's a hoot.
Wow. See that repetition and that forcing you to kind of think on the fly is how you perfect that craft, how you get that mental memory when you're doing what you need to do up on stage. Monty Moore, family in the chat. What's up, Monty, my cousin? He says true. He's talking about the records and hiding. Gloria Shea. Talk back with Gloria Shea. She's in the chat. Hello. Everybody who's in here. CC Bullock is in here with us, and she's done stand-up comedy, and she was just talking about improv. And like I said, my hat goes off to you because that's some of the hardest stuff to do. It's pretty nerve-wracking. What was your toughest moment ever on stage?
It's funny. Somebody just asked me Sunday, I was in a business meeting. They were like, have you ever bombed? And 4 years running, I have not. And I don't know a lot of comedians that can say that, but I swear to you, I have never bombed, because you can tell the difference between, and no shade to any stand-up comedian, but you can tell the difference in the people that have taken the improv class and acting class than the ones that have not. You know, you have to know your audience. I mean, I grew up in a predominantly Jewish area, and I grew up with money. So a lot of places, if you're in your Akron or lower income areas, I'm not going to stand on stage and talk about my upbringing, because I would lose the audience. Or talk about, oh yeah, I was at a resort with Jay Farrow in Cancun in November. That is true, but I'm not going to talk about that with people that probably can't afford to go out of town. So it's all about, and it's not like they give you who's going to be in the audience. So you have to come out, whatever order you're in, look at the audience or the venue, and know what jokes are going to work for this audience and what are not. And I never talk about politics. I stay way away from that. Never.
Yeah, it's a hot topic now.
Yes.
And to be honest, I got to ask you about this, because I feel like stand-up comedy right now is getting a bad rap. I've always felt that stand-up comedy is freedom of speech, number one, because it's an art, number one. And I always know, even though when you went to see guys like Sam Kinison, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, even though the stuff that they said was an assault on your ears, when you left their show, you actually sat and you thought about what they said. The same with like Eddie Murphy and stuff. Even though that Raw and Delirious are just classic comedic performances, when you left that, you thought about what they said. And I feel like today, this dangerous thing of attacking comedians for their routines is a dangerous step in society. And I think people need to step back. My feeling is, if you're going to see a Kevin Hart, you know what you're getting into. You shouldn't be going to Kevin Hart and then turn around and say, well, he offended me. Then why was you there?
Exactly.
Because if you know who Kevin Hart is and what he's going to make jokes about, you should not be offended. You shouldn't even have your... So we see this happening a lot at the comedy club level. You know, you're getting the hecklers. You're getting... Have you seen... How are most of you comedians kind of dealing with this unnecessary stuff that's going on? It's crazy.
I've lost friends on social media because one of my first lines is I talk about adultery, okay? And I talk about, and this is a true story, my ex-husband committed adultery with a dark-skinned woman, okay? So there are people that I went to Shaker with, and this particular person is a nurse, and she was older than me, but she was offended. It's a true story. I'm light-skinned, she's dark, but the funny thing is, her husband is Italian. So how could I offend you? Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's ridiculous. So basically, I had to just block her and unfriend her. You don't have to listen to my comedy on YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook. You choose to. And I am a storyteller, and even if I wasn't, but that is actually a true story. And my ex-husband was dark-skinned. I mean, we've had this since the beginning of time, though. You've seen the movie School Days, where they have the light-skinned people in the beauty shop. You know, a lot of people of other cultures don't realize that within our own race, we attack one another. Like the newscasters.
Speak on it.
I used to work for Channel 5, and you see who's on the news, you know, and how long it takes some of those people of color, the dark-skinned people, and it's no shade, it's just fact. This has been going on since slavery times. The light-skinned people were in the big house. Back in the day, I went to Spelman College. There was only light-skinned AKAs back in the day, and only dark-skinned deltas. Oh yeah, my godmother, we just lost her in December. She was an AKA. And my godfather, who's deceased, he was a Tuskegee Airman. We've always had racism within our own culture. And I don't try to offend people, but I'm just talking about my life. And if you're offended,
no,
don't
that's
listen.
funny because my artist, My artist Vienna Marie, she spent some time living in Mississippi, and as you guys have seen, Vienna Marie is light skinned, and she said she says it's scary because down in Mississippi, she's criticized by whites and blacks down in Mississippi because she's light skinned. So now she has this one side that thinks she's this, and I was like, wow, that's just crazy.
It's crazy.
That down south, it's like that when you've already trying to come up and you're going to hate against your own people.
Exactly.
Because unbelievable. Maddie C, Sports for You and Me, what's up? I see you in the chat. Gloria Shea says, shout out to CC. She says she's seen you perform and you were awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. No, just speaking some truth bombs right there on that. So for me, it bothered me because I actually saw the Dave Chappelle performance in Connecticut at Foxwoods before he did it as a Netflix special. So when all the hate came out to Dave Chappelle and everybody was talking about how they was offended, I'm like, but if you've been watching the 3 specials leading up to this final special, you knew what Dave was going to talk about. You knew what bothered him, and the fact that he was personally connected to this person, how is it offending that community? And I couldn't understand that. And I said, yo, better watch out. It's a dangerous slope to get into. Gregory Lee says, too light to be black, too dark to be white.
Yep,
Ooh,
exactly.
Gregory Lee talking about the lights. And it's funny because there's a hit song on the radio right now, and I can't remember the rapper who sings it, but the whole rap song is him and another rapper talking about Redbone.
Yeah,
light skin.
that's what I was called growing up.
It's all derogatory words, yet this is a top 40 hit song being played all over the radio, and I'm like, why is this a hit?
Right.
Every time I hear it on the radio, I'm like, I don't even know why this song is a hit. This is the type of stuff that Vienna Marie says when she was walking down the street in Mississippi. These are the things that be yelling out at her while she's walking down the street. Hey, you know, this.
Right.
And it's just, wow, crazy. We kind of got off topic, but it's something good to get
but
out
it's
there.
something that's going on in the world, and a lot of
needs to be
white
said.
people and people of other cultures, they don't even realize that we have this within our own race. They have no idea. Yeah.
And we hear it and you say it, you know, you hear it all the time. Zendaya, famous actress, she's all over it. She's talking all about, you know, the things that she got because she was a lighter skinned person versus other people.
Halle Berry,
you know,
she's interracial. Mariah Carey, you know, people just, you know, we can't win.
Right. So let's get back to the comedy. You actually was in a film called Common Creed in 2019. You're actually filming a film listed on Dark Ether, which is
correct.
being filmed in the Cleveland area. And can you talk about that one that you're filming right now?
Well,
sounds like a horror film.
Yeah,
Sounds like
it's going to be a thriller. And I play the lead character's best friend. And in Common Creed, as you know, I play the main character's mom. So Dark Ether, we got hit with COVID. So I can't really talk about a lot of it because I have no idea. But I can talk about this. Javon Bates, who wrote the book Dark Ether and Common Creed, Javon and I have collaborated. And there's we're bringing comedy to Orange Village, Ohio, and it's called The Comic Book. And I'm hosting, and our first show is St. Patrick's Day. So we're going to take comedy all around the country. And it's at a movie theater, Silver Spot. They may have a Silver Spot in Boston where they bring the food to your.
I think we did and I think they closed down during COVID. I think they had just opened one up in downtown Boston just before COVID hit, and because COVID hit, they never got off the ground.
Exactly.
And I think that's this place that closed. Yeah, yep. I remember just hearing about that, so we'll have to see. We definitely have to be here. Yeah, so keep us updated. If you're coming to the Boston area, you're going to have to hit me up. We'll have to come check you out.
Oh, I'm definitely a friend of mine is a professor at Emerson. So I have a cousin in Boston. And is it pronounced Hopkinton? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep, Hopkinton. Yep, that's the starting line of the Boston Marathon.
Yeah,
Hopkinton.
my cousin Patty lives there. I was just there Memorial Weekend, but we will definitely bring it to Boston. And so we're collaborating to do that. And as you know, I was in a Netflix film. I signed an NDA, so I can't really say what it's going to be called, but it will be on Netflix, supposedly. We finished up, I was on it from July till Halloween week, and it's supposed to be on Netflix in September.
And it's funny because I'm smiling because this is another black community thing where we have black celebrities and artists who are on Netflix. So back in the day, you know, if you was black and you was an actor or you was a comedian, and if you was in a Netflix film, you know, people would put their nose up and be like, you know, Netflix, whatever.
Right.
Now, you know, now Netflix is big.
It is.
Now, you know, Netflix is paying people. So when you tell people, yeah, I'm in a Netflix film, okay.
Right.
You working.
Right. And somebody asked me, they were like, did you get paid? I'm like, of course I got paid. Netflix, I love seeing those checks come in the mail. It's like Mona Scott.
Man.
Okay. But Common Creed.
I tell you,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're on Prime. Video is Common Creed is on Prime, just so people know. We didn't make it to Netflix.
And let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be real though. Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these streaming sites, Vudu, to be honest, they've really opened up to the black communities and allowed black filmmakers to put their product, because Nubi Rateau, whose film IMU is coming out, one of the places that he was getting his movies on was Amazon Prime and things of that sort, because he wasn't able to sell it to the major markets. And now, you know, you're making these artists and people are making a name for themselves, you know. What's her name? Chandra from ABC, when they didn't want to pay her, she's like, okay, I'm going to Netflix.
There
And
you
Netflix
go.
says, we're going to pay her all that money to come to Netflix and produce shows for us, and she's yet to drop a new show there, but everybody's going to be ready for her to drop her stuff.
I can't wait.
So you're going to hang around with me and talk some of the topics for tonight. But before we get into my topics for tonight, I've got two comedian questions I got to ask you. First of all, who do you feel was the biggest loss to comedy of all time?
Oh, wow. Of all time. Well, I'm torn. Richard Pryor in the fact that he's deceased, but Bill Cosby in the fact that he was shamed. And I know that's a tough subject for a lot of people, but we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for himself and Bill Cosby. And the storyteller is truly Bill Cosby. Clean comedy, his name is all over it. So people
That's one of them albums.
People can feel how they want to feel, you know, but people's personal life, you have to separate it. And I'm not saying wrong or right, what he did, what he didn't do, but Bill Cosby, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if it wasn't for Bill Cosby. That's the truth.
Bill Cosby, Wonderfulness. I remember the album. He's on a go-kart on the front. That's another one that my dad used to make us listen to. The Chicken Heart That Ate New York City was the skit that Bill Cosby did. And everybody's probably like, damn, Sinister One just aged the hell out of himself when he just mentioned that one. So, and today, who do you feel is the most impactful comedian today?
In film, it would be Tiffany Haddish in film. And for it's a toss-up for me, obviously Dave Chappelle, because he's not scared to say what he has to say. And I'm very outspoken myself. It's hard for female comedians, though. It's the good old boys, I have to be honest. So I would give it to Dave Chappelle. I mean, I love Kevin Hart, but it's a whole different thing. And I love Jay Farrell. Who doesn't love Jay Farrell?
Oh yeah, and Tiffany Haddish, who has gotten into some legal troubles. I was kind of upset because she had been promoting all this stuff, and you know, she saw what Kevin Hart went through when he got pulled over in his DUI, and he actually spoke and said, you know, he had to realize that there's a lot of people working for him that depend on him and his livelihood to keep going. And I was kind of upset to see what happened with her. Hopefully, you know, she's able to clear these legal issues up, because Tiffany Haddish, she virtually came out of nowhere and she just stole the entire world.
She was a foster child, you know? And who doesn't like Girls Trip? Even guys. I mean, I could watch that every day and still laugh. And I do have to mention, before we get off here, is the Wayans brothers. I mean, where would we be without In Living Color?
That's right.
The Wayans.
That's right. And you look at, and people tend to forget all the comedians, white, black, Latino, that came out of that. Hey, it gave us J-Lo.
It gave us J-Lo.
That gave us Jennifer Lopez too.
Yes. It gave us Jim Carrey. And the Asian dude, I can't think of his name, something Cho, but a lot of people, everybody.
Well, here's the thing that bothers me about real quick before we get into my topics, let's get into this political. We talked about, you know, the climate and politics and being shut down. People tend to forget one of the reasons why we didn't have Dave Chappelle, the reasons why Living Color ended, the reason why Arsenio Hall was forced off the air was because these were powerful black people who spoke their minds against corporate America.
Exactly.
You know, Arsenio Hall was doing damage to the nighttime ratings. He was going toe-to-toe with Leno and all these guys. He was having guests on. He was calling people out on his show live.
Yeah.
And corporate white America, they didn't like that.
They don't want to see that.
They didn't like that. And and they shut Arsenio's show down. In Living Color, when in Living Color started to really touch on the social issues, the Wayans brothers was getting censored. Yo, you can't do this no more. You couldn't do that no more. And the Wayans brothers were like, oh, but it was okay when the season first started for us to be minstrel fools for you. But now you want to shut us down and take that money away. And then Dave Chappelle, no knock against Jordan Peele, who I love Jordan Peele.
Too, yeah.
But Dave Chappelle mentioned how he felt some type of way to Jordan Peele because he said, hey, Comedy Central dumped me, let me walk away, and then they bring on copycats of my show.
Right.
And then they got famous off of that, you know, and he's real honest about that. And I don't hate on Jordan Peele because Jordan Peele built their own success off of that, and I gotta love them for that.
Right.
So again, everybody out there, when it comes to stand-up comedy, if you're buying your tickets and you're going to see a comedian like CC, you're paying to see them speak their mind. So don't go up in their show, then come out the next day and run to the press and tell them that you're offended because of this and this and that.
Right.
Because you sound foolish.
You
sound foolish.
Exactly.
Sit down. Sit down.
Exactly. Have a
sit
bourbon
down.
and be
All
quiet.
right, we're gonna what'd he say? Eddie Murphy, when he was talking about when he called Richard Pryor about Bill Cosby, he said that Richard Pryor said to tell him to have a Coke and a smile and sit down and shut the F up. classic line from Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor talking about Bill Cosby. And again, I gotta mention Red Fox because he was one of the first. And a lot of people don't even know about Red Fox.
They don't.
They just think of Sanford and Son.
That's all they know is Sanford and Son. Exactly.
Yeah, Red Fox was real. If you
real.
guys haven't seen Red Fox stand-up routines, be ready because we're talking old school. Hitting the man, you want to see some stuff? See Red Fox. So we got Maria. What's going on? She said that's why Netflix had the platform for artists and comedians so they can express them. Definitely. Maddie C says Eddie Murphy, great comedian. Nice. Gloria Shea says great show. So we're gonna get into the news booth. She's gonna hang on some topics. Viana Marie is hanging out with us, and we're gonna get into the news booth. Funeral arrangements have been announced for State Trooper Tamir Bucci. She was killed last week when she was going to pull over to assist a person that had broke down. She had turned the lights on, but I guess she didn't realize there was a tractor trailer coming. The tractor trailer hit her cruiser and forced her into a bridge abutment, and she died. She is now they started the funeral services. Today was the wake. Tomorrow is the funeral. Actually, the place that I work for, we're actually providing some buses to help transport all these officers to her funeral tomorrow. For those who don't know, when an officer dies in the line of duty, the state police from every state, they send 2 representatives, and then cities and towns sends 1 representative from every city and town. So you do the math of how many police officers that is coming to Massachusetts tomorrow for this funeral. This is just mind-boggling. This goes on anytime a police officer is killed in the line of duty, and we're already set to go. Every bus company in the area is donating buses to transport these guys to this funeral tomorrow. So our hats and our prayers go off to her and her family. She was 34 years old. I think she was only on the force for a year or so. She's well known on TikTok and Instagram because she was this workout person before. She was doing security for the casino here, and it's just sad. Yes. So Also, I gotta beat up the news here in Boston. IT News, Channel 4, they put a story out there saying the truck driver who struck her car has had his license suspended. Everybody's out there now. They're talking about this driver, this operator in a bad way, and this and that, and this and that. And you know what?
Sit down.
Sit down. Sit down. I'm going to tell you why to sit down, people, because it's nothing to brag about, but unfortunately myself, I was involved in a car accident when I was younger that involved a fatality. And one of the things that happens when you're involved with a fatality is that your license is automatically suspended pending investigation. This is a Registry of Motor Vehicles SOP. Luckily, in my situation, I had an incident with someone on a motorcycle, and this person was speeding. This person was doing 120 miles an hour when they hit my vehicle and died. It was a tragic accident. I was a brand new driver at 16 years old when this incident happened. And the first thing that happened to me was I lost my license. My license was suspended pending the results of the investigation. When the investigation was done and they promised you that it would be done in 90 days, I received my license back. But yeah, I don't like how the news stories are really painting this picture of this person as being the bad guy when this is just standard, normal Registry of Motor Vehicles SOP. So please, people, stop it. Just stop it. Here in Brockton has decided to relax the rules for recreational marijuana dispensaries. They are now going to be able to close at 10 p.m. Now, if you guys remember, we added delivery to these dispensaries, and that's tax money, people. That extra 2 hours of opening, that's tax revenue. So we're going to take care of that one. We're going to look at this one. Now, I'm going to get my comedian in here to chime in on this story coming up. Here we go, people. Oh, my God. If you haven't watched this one, the invasion is coming in the months of May and June. 3-inch Joro spiders. These are spiders that are the size, look at their face, the palm of your hand. They're coming from Japan. They accidentally arrived here on shipping containers, and they're saying that these spiders are breeding, and we're going to see them along the East Coast all the way down to Georgia. And these spiders are about the size of your palm. But here's the thing. Not only are these spiders big, these spiders take their webs and they fly through their air to their next habitat like big, giant parachutes.
Hell no. Japan
She's
can't
like,
catch
nah.
a break. First the bats and now the spiders. Poor Japan.
We got these spiders are coming here.
Oh,
and I'm not looking forward to them. As you guys see the picture, this is my hand.
Wow.
I'm not looking to have no spider fly through the air on some web.
Unless it's Spider-Man.
This ain't no Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland coming. No. And just imagine it's May, June. Oh, I saw your face. Just imagine being at just imagine being at a cookout. You sipping on some Henny or something, and this big old Joro spider lands on your boy or your girl. We're gonna start seeing these TikToks of these spiders just landing on people or people walking into them.
Oh no. Amusement parks. Because you be on the roller coaster, a spider mug you in the face. Cedar Point won't be the same.
I just got to chill through my... I know my son Terrell, if my son Terrell is watching, he probably already shut it off. He's probably like, don't even talk about that. Don't even talk about that. Okay. Oh, man.
You just ruined my summer.
Getting into the legal booth now. One of the things about my show, The Booth, we like to tell people about things that they don't know about. We like to educate people. So one of the topics that I've been touching base on and talking about is this McDonald's McFlurry thing. There's this big joke about the McDonald's McFlurry machines being broken nationwide and everybody. So I'm about to educate everybody and open their eyes as to what's really going on and why the McFlurry machines are broken. So for those who don't know, there's two companies involved. Taylor is one company, And the second company is, I think its name is Jiri, I forget, or hold on, let me find this name. Kitsch. Kitsch is the second company. So Kitsch came up with a way to fix these machines. The reason why the machines aren't getting fixed is because the company Taylor monopolized the contract to fix the machines. So in other words, Taylor is the company that's contracted to fix the McFlurry machines across the country. So in other words, when the machines are broken, Taylor comes in and is supposed to fix those machines. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Why? Because they've got the contract. They bought up all the smaller companies and they control the narrative. And this is horrible because what happens is that McDonald's has these machines down and this company doesn't fix them. Well, Kitsch is a company who came up with a way to fix these machines and be able to fix them remotely. And Kitsch was shut down by Taylor because Kitsch actually caught Taylor trying to reverse engineer the tool to fix the product, which is crazy because this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So if Taylor was able to reverse engineer the tool that would diagnose and be able to fix these McDonald's machines, Kitsch would be the one to get the contract and take this contract away from Taylor if they stepped up and approached McDonald's. So Taylor right now is actually manipulating McDonald's to where they think that Kitsch is stealing. They're trying to steal this work and this and that. So Kitsch has turned around and filed a $90 billion lawsuit against Taylor and McDonald's. So whenever you're thinking and talking about this McFlurry machine issue, just remember, people, this is about money right now. This has nothing to do about laziness. This isn't nothing. And again, everybody talks about, well, why don't they just fix the machine? Why don't they can't. The machines are contracted to be repaired by this company, which is why your $15 employee can't fix and clean that machine because it's a contract. And if they do that, guess what happens? McDonald's is going to be sued by Taylor for breach of contract on repairs of these machines. So it's a very, very great legal story to talk about and learn about. So next time when you're at a bar and somebody talks about the McFlurry machines, you can say, hey, this is why. And they're going to say, no way. And then you can win that $50 bet at the bar. And tell them you learned it here on the booth. UFC fighter Cain Velasquez has been denied bail for attempted murder. This is a tough one. I'm going to ask you about this one too. Cain Velasquez is an MMA fighter. His daughter goes to a daycare, and they had an incident where his daughter was almost molested by a man at the daycare. Now, Cain Velasquez finds out that this man was already on trial for previous molestations of children. But in California, he was released. He didn't have to pay any bail, and he was back out on the street when he committed this possible act of almost molesting Cain Velasquez's son. Well, guess what Cain Velasquez does? And look, I'm not preaching for anybody to do this, but Cain Velasquez he hunted this man down, he pulled up on his car, and he tried to shoot and kill this man. But at the same time, this man was in his car with his father and his brother, and they also were shot, which is why he was denied bail. The question is that she says, how do you almost molest someone? The man showed up at the school and was trying to take the daughter, and he was stopped. So he was stopped from being able to take the daughter, and it was called in. Cain Velasquez didn't wait. Cain Velasquez is a dad, and he was like, I'm not waiting. This dude was already released on bail for this, So it's tough. I mean, you're the mother of an autistic son. Your thing when he was growing up was, I'm pretty sure, was to protect him when he was growing up, right?
Exactly. And my degree is in early childhood. So I taught 3-year-olds at the Jewish Community Center. So I obviously, and I'm a survivor of gun violence. So this is a tough one for me. Him being a fighter, I do understand, being a dad first. Forget the fighter part of it. He's a dad. And this is a preschool. Not that it's right when you're in junior high school, elementary school, but you're talking about a preschool child. And supposedly, when you're violated or you're you've been to jail or what have you for child molestation, you're not supposed to live anywhere near the school. Now, I don't know how this man got to the school or whatever happened. I don't know the backstory, but I can say, again, being a survivor of gun violence, sometimes you wish you could have do-overs, but he committed a crime with a gun. So the no bail, maybe it's just a tough one. I mean, our legal system, what are you going to do? I think sometimes you have to take a step back. But I have twins, and if anybody we all know, if anybody messes with your child, my mother always said, it's just, I don't know what to say. I'm almost speechless. I feel bad that the man is in prison without bail, but at the same time, there were other people in the car. Not that it would make it right if they were in the car by themselves. This is his dad and other people, you know what I mean? So I just think that we just can't be everybody can't be Rambo or taking crimes. If everybody does that, then the world is going to be a bloody place.
And I think that's the issue, and that's the issue why they denied the bail was because they said he was reckless. Yeah. They said, there were other people in that car when he rolled up and just shot into the car.
Exactly.
They're saying it's reckless. So now it makes you wonder, damn, if there wasn't anybody in this car, how would the courts have felt on this one?
Exactly.
Would he have been able to use that temporary moment of insanity? Mm-hmm. And I would have to ask Ken, I would have to have my legal guys something of that sort. Right. Would he have gotten away with that one, Mm-hmm. And he still may be able to get away with that temporary moment of insanity when there's
he snapped.
Yeah. So any parent, if you're not a parent, a lot of people I see out there that are saying he should be in jail and this and that, a lot of these people that are saying this, I hate to say this, they're not parents.
No.
A majority of people who are parents, they're siding with Cain Velasquez. I can tell you right now, I love my two boys. My two boys are grown as hell.
Right.
But I'll tell you right now, their mother and me, oh my God, I would protect my kids for the life of me. I would never, ever, ever. But again, I get it, and it's a story to watch. Cain Velasquez, if you guys haven't heard, this is a major, major story, and he's got a lot of people supporting him in his time. So we'll see. Getting into the entertainment booth, Marvel has replaced the Punisher's controversial logo. Now I don't agree with this at all, and I'm going to show you guys. This is the new logo right here. That's the new Punisher logo right there. As you guys know, the Punisher logo was a skull, and now it's this Japanese demon who redeemed himself. That's that skull of that Japanese demon. So we're gonna look into this. The reason why they changed it is because, and I don't agree with this, Marvel's a big company. Marvel's putting out a ton of movies. Marvel is changing the logo because the logo has been adopted by white supremacists and those who went and did what they did on January 6th. A lot of military personnel have adopted the logo, and my feeling is this: Marvel, why change the logo? Just sue them. Just sue everybody who's taking your logo and doing whatever with it. That's my feeling.
Right.
My feeling is maybe Marvel, even though the character's likeness of the Punisher is trademarked, maybe the logo wasn't trademarked. I don't know. But my feeling is Marvel should have just sued all these people. Maybe they just felt the logo was out there so much it wasn't worth trying to sue everybody who was utilizing this logo, their brand, and said, let's just change it. Maybe Marvel just felt that's the way out. But what do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think? Do you think Marvel should have just sued everybody affiliated with this logo, or do you think they did the right thing? Just drop it in the chat. I'd like to see some people's answers. What do you think, CC? Because you're a comedian. You have a brand,
I think that you're right. We should have sued everybody. It's just, and I feel the same way about the Indians changing to the Guardians. We're Black. And they used to have black Sambos and the little statues on the lawn with the black faces. I'm sorry, Indians with the teepees and the feathers. Chief Wahoo, maybe they could have just kept the Indians and got rid of Chief Wahoo. But people are so sensitive, like you said, about hecklers coming to comedy and they're offended. Marvel is, to me, I would have sued. Why are you changing the logo when other people are using it invading the Capitol. Those people are idiots anyway. I'm sorry. We're getting a little political.
And
but
Vianna
it's the
Marie, she
truth.
said, Vianna Marie might be right. She says it's easy to change it up and make that money. And she's right. She's right in the way because Punisher's coming back.
True.
Punisher's coming back to Netflix.
Yeah.
And you can utilize all of this to make
Right.
money on
That's
the return
true.
of the Punisher. So she's right. They might have said, hey, it might just be better to change the logo and make that cash.
That does
because
make
sometimes,
sense.
and I've said this
Yeah.
before. Yep, I've said this before. In this era of the 2020s, bad press has been good press for people. We've seen
True.
it time and time again where people take bad press and turn it into millions of dollars. Look at Kanye. Look at Kanye,
Oh.
bad press, and he's still making money hand over fist. So like Vianna Marie just said, why spend money suing? And that's it. The logo's out there with so many people. Why spend that money trying to sue all of these people? Let's just take it away and just come up with something new. And there's the logo there. Sports booth. Here in Massachusetts, Patriots released two-time Super Bowl champion Kyle Van Noy from the defense. That's going to free up $5 million from the cap. But hey, people, don't get worried or upset. There's a good chance Kyle Van Noy may be back. Sometimes they release somebody to make that cap space, and then once they get all their free agents signed and do whatever they need to do, they bring people back. It's happened here twice, and I can't remember the players off my head who it happened with, but we did have two players that we released. Everybody was kind of upset, and then when everything was all said and done after the free agency period, we brought those people back just before the season kicked off. Dave Haggerty in the chat says rebranded equals more money. Yep, New England Patriots, they rebranded, and look what the Patriots became the number 2 team as far as sales go in the NFL when they changed their brand. So rebranding does equal more money. And in the case of the Punisher, this may be why.
Right. That's true.
Also in the sports booths, quarterback Aaron Rodgers just signs. Well, he's agreed to a 4-year deal to become the highest paid player in NFL history. So for me, this story tells me that Aaron Rodgers is petty as F. Why? Because as long as Tom Brady was in the league, Aaron Rodgers, in his contract, he had a stipulation that whatever Tom Brady got paid, he would have to be matched that offer. As we all know historically, Tom Brady took pay cut after pay cut after pay cut here while he was in New England. Guess what that did? That affected Aaron Rodgers' baseline on his contract. So because Tom Brady was taking pay cut after pay cut, Aaron Rodgers was never getting paid what he felt should get paid. Tom Brady's now retired. Guess what Aaron Rodgers does? Well, I'm going to probably sign for 4 more years and make that money being the top quarterback, because guess what? Everybody else is pretty much retired. Drew Brees is gone. Tom Brady's gone. The only one he really has to compete with is Russell Wilson. I'm about to talk about Russell Wilson because he's no longer in the NFC. He's now in the AFC playing for the Denver Broncos. So,
Denver, yeah.
You watch football? You up on your football, CC?
Oh, I'm obsessed with sports. My twins will tell you. Obsessed. And when I was at the spa today with Chandler, that's all they were talking about was Aaron Rodgers. And the first thing I said, he waited until Tom Brady. We're big Tom Brady fans. And I was like, now he is one insecure person. Tom Brady was like, see you guys later. Now he's going to capitalize off of Tom Brady's success. Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Them records.
He's the GOAT.
Yep.
He's the GOAT.
Oh, see, that's coming from CC. So we'll see. And as I just mentioned, guess what? The Broncos have now traded, gave up multiple picks, and they're going to get Russell Wilson and Sierra.
Yes, and Sierra, one of my idols.
Oh, they're getting Sierra down there. So,
yes.
And I don't know why these two shouldn't. Vianna Marie says, why should he? Why not though? It's petty, Vianna. What Aaron Rodgers is doing is petty. He knows he's too old. He knows it's time for him to step down. Ben Roethlisberger stepped down. Come on, right. Aaron. You ain't going to do 4 more years in Green Bay in the cold, the tundra?
No.
Come on, Aaron. You couldn't even lie about getting the COVID vaccination correctly.
I know Tom and his wife are at home cracking up.
But okay. But the Broncos are getting Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Russell Wilson is now going to be in the AFC West. That's woo. Man, what that does for that division. Oh my
Black
goodness,
QB.
guys. That's a crazy division right now with Russell Wilson added to Denver. That's right there. That's right there. So we're gonna see what happens with Russell Wilson. They're coming out of that dreary Seattle. Sierra's gonna be real close to California now, being in Denver. Let's see what happens. I've always felt these two should have had a reality TV show by now, and it hasn't happened. He's actually begging for another kid right now.
She'll give him one. She bounces back so quickly. Look how good she looks. She'll give him one.
But she hasn't made any music. She hasn't really made any music since she got married to him, and that bugs me because she was making some good music.
Yeah, but she's happy, and we all deserve to be in love. And if I was married to him, I wouldn't even do comedy.
She said, "I'll be home."
Exactly, making babies. If I was younger. Now
I'll be home. Russell Wilson is the man. This is a big story, people. This is something that everybody kind of needs to keep an eye on, and this is a big one. A lot of people aren't paying attention to it. So the WNBA star Brittany Gaynor, for those who don't know who Brittany Gaynor is, she plays in the WNBA. Her team actually lost, Phoenix Mercury. They actually lost the WNBA championship last year. Listen to this, people. Brittany Gaynor also won U.S. gold in the Olympics 2012 and I think 2016 and 2021, number one. She won U.S. gold. She's one of the WNBA's most prolific players at this time. Right now, guess what happens? The WNBA was actually on tour in Russia when all this stuff happened, and they were told to get home, get out, get back here to the U.S. And while they were trying to get back here to the U.S., guess what happens? All of a sudden, Miss Gaynor's bag has hashish vape oil.
Oh, no.
So she's now locked up and now could end up spending 10 years in jail in Russia. This is politics, people. Anybody who hasn't heard this story yet, this is all political. I would not be surprised. They knew who she was. They knew what her value was to America. And once the sanctions began, they snatched her up at the airport, and now they're holding her. Her attorney, her family, and everybody's on it. But I'm just telling everybody, pay attention. This is going to be a bigger story. I have no doubt in my mind that Russia is going to utilize Brittany Gaynor as in Gloria Shea. She says a pawn. They are. She's going to be a political prisoner. Russia is going to use her as an example. I am in fear of her life.
Yes.
And I'm waiting because I have a feeling that Biden is going to be brought as far up as Biden to talk about this if she doesn't get released. I think I think this is where this is headed. Like I said, we like to talk about things real early on the booth before people, get notified and then they're in shock. Let's get angry about this now. This is real. This is real. She's a pawn. And they knew what they was doing. The Russians know what they're doing. The KGB is merciless. So it does not surprise me, but we'll see. We will see on this one. And I got a couple of trailers for you guys before we get into the Biden bombshells. And I'm a big fan of Sandra Oh. She's a female Asian actress. She's been on a ton of TV shows. I first saw her on Arliss. She's doing a horror movie called Uma, where she's possessed by her Asian mother. And for those who know about Asian mothers and daughters, that relationship between Asian mothers and daughters has been historically a stereotypical situation. And a lot of Asian women will tell you about it and speak about it. I think it was the Joy Luck Club kind of featured on that relationship there between Asian mothers and daughters. But this is now a horror film. Sandra Oh is getting a lot of talk. And then I also got a trailer for you guys. Adrian Brody playing Protector in Clean. Adrian Brody, this is a black film with Adrian Brody in it. I'm going to show you this trailer. Gritty as hell. But here you go. Let me show you these two trailers, and we're going to be back with more CeCe Bullock after this on The Booth.
I think there's something wrong.
Mom? What is this?
We need more colonies.
a lot more work. But it's nothing the two of us can't handle together.
Your life is so retro. Do you even have a phone?
No.
So how do you talk to your friends?
My mom is my friend.
Stop! Turn it off! Who are you?
네 엄마가 돌아가셨다. 이 가방 속에 있는 한 엄마 한은 더 커질 거다.
No! Get out of my house.
도대체 어떤 딸이 네 엄마를 버리고 떠나니? 어?
What's in the suitcase? What's going on?
I'm fine.
I'm just worried about you.
I said I'm fine.
Who is this woman?
That's my Amma.
That was all she had.
I remember so much screaming.
I didn't want you to know her.
Why?
Some Koreans believe that life's hardships are caused by the tormented spirits of their ancestors.
Amanda, you okay? I think there's something wrong. Is this what you want? A final resting place? Chris! I'm coming!
Come here. What else have you been lying to me about?
All of this is for you!
I can't wait to leave.
You're not going anywhere. Amma's here.
There used to be families in every house on this street. You could hear the kids laughing all the time.
What's going on? It's cold.
Grandma's out. I left my key inside.
You hungry?
You know, we don't need anyone to save us.
Just trying to save myself. I'm still looking for answers. I just don't know the questions anymore. I've got blood on my hands. No matter how hard I try, I can't wash away the past.
Sorry about the smell.
I'm used to it.
For your trouble.
I'm good.
Most guys I sponsor, they got a hard time doing work. But you got a different sort of malady. Yeah, it ain't the work, it's the letting go.
Your grandma's gonna worry.
You ain't my father.
You find a way to make peace with it, or it makes war with you.
What's up? We close.
I'm gonna have to open you up.
What?
God has a plan.
We can never go home.
Kill the girl and the old lady. Make it messy. I'm gonna make it right.
Home protection.
Hunting.
A trash man. Wasn't always a trash man.
You sent me to kill the Grim Reaper.
You said find a way to make peace. I did.
How'd you get this number?
Same way I got your address. Boom.
We're back here. All right, we're back here in the booth. That was Oma and Adrian Brody. Clean. Man, 2 good trailers. I had to show you guys those. I can't wait. Sandra Oh, as we were talking, also Grey's Anatomy. You said you love her. You said she's a good actress, huh?
Mhm. Yeah, that looks like a good scary movie too. That mother-daughter mother-daughter relationship is nothing to play with.
Right, exactly. And like I said, from that Asian perspective, and that's a type of movie that has black people yelling at the screen too. You know how we be sometimes.
Right. Especially the first weekend it comes out.
I was sitting here watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre on Netflix, and I was, like I said, when I go to the movies, I'm quiet because I don't want to be that guy at the movies. But if I'm at home, I'm yelling at the TV. And for me, I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I'm watching this Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I was loving it. It was a good movie and stuff. I'm actually going to talk about that next week when I get on the air. I got some people I'm going to talk about that with. But let's get into Biden bombshells because we've got to get ready to get out of here in a little while. I got Maddie C's Sports for You and Me coming up. That's a show I co-produce, and also Happy Hour with Lito, 2 great shows, part of Triple Threat, Tuesday, and I'm trying to rush my week here. Mitchell McKinnon, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. But let's get into the Biden bombshells. I'm not real happy. I watched the State of the Union last week. Joe Biden's up there. He's talking about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It was real fresh. And I was upset because, he gets on the topic of veterans not being treated correctly. He starts talking about his son, Beau Biden, who we all know has passed away. And then Congresswoman Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Greene Taylor, they jump up and start heckling Biden and talking about the 13 veterans who died. And it was really an awkward, ignorant moment for the GOP. For me, there's a place and there's a time for that. But Lauren Boebert, look, she's a closet racist, number one.
Right.
She's got some heat on her right now because she got up there and made a joke. So for those who don't know, first of all, they did this thing at the State of the Union, which a lot of people are unhappy about. Mitt Romney even called them out. But what pisses me off the most about Lauren is that this week, the Crown Act bill, H.R. 2551, I think it is, the H.R. bill for the Crown Act. For those who don't know what the Crown Act is, this is a bill that's now at the federal level. It started in California, which will allow black people to be able to wear their hair the way they want to wear their hair naturally and not be criticized, not lose their job, not be ostracized or not promoted because of their hair. It protects black people pretty much. This is how this all started. This is going to become law. You have 8 protected things in law in the workplace right now. Your gender, your sex, your creed, your race, all that's protected by federal law. Well, if this Crown bill is passed, hair will now be protected under federal law. And it not just only helps black people, it helps people of all races who have different type of textures of hair. She gets up there and puts her vote in for this bill on nay. She puts a nay bill up there, a vote. Now, instead of calling it the Crown Act, you know what she calls it when she gets up there, Cece?
No.
She calls it the bad hair bill.
Oh no. Come on. That's craziness. They just won't let us.
This is at the federal level to be voted in as a law. There's an actual name for this law. Right. It's called the Crown
Act. Because your hair
and you
is
get
your
up there
crown.
And she called it the bad hair bill. Wow. Now, for all you people out here who support her and think she's all this and all that and doesn't see anything wrong with this, it is something wrong with this.
Mm-hmm.
This woman is a professional. She is elected to her seat to represent the people that are her constituents. You're supposed to represent. So when you get up there and you call this the bad hair bill, guess what? You ain't representing me by calling it that, because you're not recognizing it for what it's for. The Crown Act is here for a reason, because black people have been, yes, it is, Mitchell. The Crown Act is a law in certain states. It is in certain states, but right now we are now at the level where it's going to become federal. The Crown Act is about to go federal. In other words, a lot of states have adopted it, but now once it becomes federal, then all 50 states have to honor the Crown Act. In other words, you can't be denied this or that because of your natural hair. And for her to get up there as a congresswoman,
yes,
and call it the bad hair bill, that's worse than her heckling Biden last week at the State of the Union, which pissed me off. That pissed me off, but this here pissed me off even more because that just goes to show you the privilege of some of these people who just don't get it.
No.
Just don't get it. And I see you, because you came up, you know how it is. You were just talking about the white and dark in the black culture,
right?
And the hair thing. The hair thing was also an issue within the black culture too.
It still is. Because of the relaxer.
Speak on it.
I've been natural for 5 years. Yes, I have blonde in my hair. Yes, I get a silk press, but I also wear locks, depending on where I'm traveling to or what I want to do. So it's my right. This is my crown. If my hair doesn't look good, I don't look good. And a bad hair day that's an insult to us as Black people, even Jewish people. Some of them have what we call nappy hair. Okay. Barbara Streisand used to take an iron to straighten her hair, like an actual iron that you press your clothes with. Because a lot of Jews, well, first of all, we know where our heritage comes from, and we know from your religious background that it was Jews, so to just say we had a bad hair day, that's like if you wake up and you have bedhead. This is, if I'm wearing locks, if I'm wearing dreads, I should be able to come into my job and get the same respect as anybody else, especially people on the news. This is a big deal. There was a lot of newscasters that were fired because they wore locks or whatever different type of style we consider, even an afro, but it was fine in the 70s and the Black Panther movement. Now, because we don't want to wear relaxers anymore, it's a problem for people. And unfortunately, like you said, white privilege. She knows better. And I don't even want to say it's white privilege. I just want to say that it's racism and ignorance, because she's just, you can see, to heckle the president, just period. She looks like a fool. You respect him. Like you said, she's a servant of the people. So if she's going to act like that at the State of the Union address, can you imagine what she does in a private setting when they're meeting?
Woo! And look, people, you don't have to look far.
Nope.
Lauren Broberg, you can look up her videos of her speaking at these different conferences, and some of the stuff that she's saying is some scary. To be honest, she should have never even been elected as a congresswoman.
No.
But you know how it is. She's attractive, and she puts her whole good face on for everybody. Then when they get in, you really see who they're really about, and that's what happens. Gloria Shea says it's all because we ourselves do not understand our own heritage.
True. That's deep,
true
but
too.
that is true. I can't wait to see SNL on Saturday, because they are going to be right there on it. From a comedian side, more power to Saturday Night Live, because look how the ratings have gone up since when we had Trump for president and Alec Baldwin.
They did it right. Satire.
They did.
Yep, satire is protected. They did a damn good job. It won them some Emmys, and it saved their ass.
Yes.
And Trump says that. He credits the fact that, and that's right. He's damn right. If it wasn't for him, Mitchell McKinnon says how she says stuff comes off like a huge red flag. You're right, Mitchell. You are right. If you haven't seen it, people, if you haven't looked her up and checked out some of the crazy things that she said at some of these events, she said things about Black people. She said things about Jewish people. She's a dangerous person, everybody. She's a dangerous congresswoman, and you see she's right there with Marjorie Greene Taylor, who's another dangerous person in government. These are two people you don't want together or on any ticket. Ukraine invasion. Let's get into this as we get out of here. We only got 2 more topics to talk about. Joe Biden this morning. So all y'all people out there talking about gas prices and do this.
Sit down.
Sit down. Joe Biden has just banned the purchase of Russian oil and Russian gas. Now, that only makes up 10%. Russia only makes up 10% of what is bought here in this country. But guess what's going to happen? Because of this, OPEC is going to answer, and the price per barrel is going to climb again. We're already seeing $5 for gas. But here's the other thing, people. I see a lot of people talking and complaining about the gas prices. But again, like here in Massachusetts, if we removed all the taxes that are put onto gas by the cities and states, your gas would probably be in most areas around $2. Because a lot of people don't realize that the city and state puts taxes on your gas to make up for the shortfalls and shortcomings of other things within the government. Like here in Massachusetts, I believe we're paying like a 40-cent extra tax that was instated by Baker to help pay for overages of costs at the MBTA. That's not being covered federally. So for those who talk all this stuff, get your education, do your homework, and realize that and the president doesn't control the gas prices.
No, he doesn't.
It's all controlled by OPEC. It's a market. It's a market. So he's banning the purchase of Russian oil, and he's banning the purchase of gas from Russia. But Putin has lost 4,000 soldiers. And we talked about this on the show last week. Putin is being embarrassed right now because this shouldn't have been that hard. Putin thought he was going to go into the Ukraine and have it within 48 hours. Guess what? A lot of countries have stepped up, and they're sending Ukraine a ton of stuff. And I myself even posted the fact about, remember that conversation, that perfect phone call when Trump wasn't going to give the Ukraine the anti-tank Javelin missiles, which is now being used to keep back Russia? It makes you think, people. There's no proof, but if they didn't get those Javelin rockets when Trump threatened them with that, where would Ukraine be right now? It makes you think. It's just things to ponder and things, to wonder. Ukraine also was sharing videos of the tanks running out of fuel. It's an embarrassment. I'm not happy with the fact that Russia has taken over a couple of nuclear targets and caused fires and things of that sort. Putin is crazy. Right now, the government is going after his oligarchs, which is a good thing. Those are all the people that make the money off the Russian oil, and they're living it up with super mansions and super everything, yachts and stuff. And they're Poland. Oh, Mitchell just said Poland traded MiG-29s for F-16 planes from the U.S. to give to Ukraine. Nice, nice. That levels the playing field there.
That's awesome.
As far as airspace. Yep, that's awesome. So I'm loving that. Also in the Biden bombshells, before we get out of here, the last thing I want to talk about is Biden is also set to announce an executive order tomorrow reviewing cryptocurrency. The reason why he wants to review cryptocurrency is because the sanctions are now in place. They're hurting Russia. But what Russia is doing is that they're doing business utilizing cryptocurrency with China and those other countries that he's dealing with. So what he wants to do, he wants to cut off that chain of circumventing the sanctions. So once he does that, this is a big deal. There were two of Putin's oligarchs who had to step down from some type of thing, and it's going to cost them $22 billion to step down in income. Imagine that. Imagine the amount of money these people are making off the oil. $22 billion in the first year. So when you look at this and what's going on, people, you got to be fearful, because these are men who are making an astronomical amount of money and living the lives that none of us will ever be able to live.
No.
And these are all Putin's buddies. And you know what? He's answering to these powerful guys. Just like Biden answers to Congress and the Senate, Putin answers to these money guys. And they're going to be the ones that are going to tell Putin what to do. And this is where you got to be scared of. Because when men lose their riches like these men are losing, desperation sets in. And the question is how desperate can these men force Putin to go? That's where, and the other thing is too, is China still playing this. You know, they're doing stuff behind the scenes that we know about and we're watching and we're monitoring, but China is still, they're not, because China knows. China knows they're doing a lot of business with Russia, but we do a lot of business with Russia too. So China knows, man, we want to get involved, but we also don't want to cut off our nose to save our face because U.S. spends a lot of money in China too.
Yeah.
So, you know, the Chinese are like, man,
Oh, shoot.
we pushing iPhones out on a regular. To the
Okay,
US.
and all of Trump's merch is made in China.
You know, so man, anything you want to speak on before we get out of here on that?
Yeah, I just want to say it's some scary times. I'm not going outside in May with the spiders. I'm gonna stay away from the Russians. And vodka. But I heard today that they're pulling McDonald's is pulling out of Russia. Did you hear that?
Yes, they did. A lot of 50 companies have pulled out of Russia.
Yeah.
50 big name companies are pulling out of Russia. And McDonald's is one of the first to say, we're done, we're pulling out, and you lose that import.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. I like to see more of that.
And vodka, shoot, I mean, this is it's gonna be ugly, and Putin is just a puppet. And now people understand that he's a puppet.
And here's the thing: we've got people here established. 50 Cent, Sean Combs, all you guys out there who are making your own tequilas and things of that sort. Guess what? Time to step up, fellas. 50 Cent, all you guys out there, start making some vodkas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Start making them vodkas,
tequila,
man.
So let's get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's step up. Let's get these guys branded. Nas is in there. He's sponsoring Hennessy, but let's get something from Nas. He got a ton of money out there ready to do. Jay-Z, jump into that.
Dwayne Wade
vodka scene.
is in wine. Him and Gabriel. Let's make some vodka. That we can do this.
Yep, let's get on it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get on it, people. You know what? We don't need to get the Russian vodkas in here.
No.
And let's do what we need to do. Do what we need to do. Black culture, step up.
That's right.
Hey, let people know where they can see you next and where you're gonna be and your social media before we get out of here.
All right. My social media is, unfortunately, I was hacked. So I have a new IG. And it's comedian spelled the female way. So it's COMEDIENNECC, which is CICI Bullock, BULLOCK. And on Facebook, I'm Cheryl, CHERYL Bullock. And I will be at Funny Stop. The feature is my first time being the feature at Funny Stop on Thursday, March 10th. And then the 17th, I will be hosting our own thing, the comic book. It'll be the third Thursday of every month, coming to Pinecrest Silver Spot in Orange Village, Ohio. And
nice. And I see Kevin Jeffries in the chat. He does a show out there in Ohio. He does a podcast, Happy Hour with Lito. He's tied in with Ari Spears, and I forget the other comedian's name that he's tied in with over there. Maybe he can stop over and give you a check out. And where else are you going to be? You said after this one?
So Funny Stop on Thursday, March 10th, and then on March 17th, I will be at Silver Spot, which is the movie theater at Pinecrest, is what the mall's name is, in Orange Village, Ohio. You can get your tickets. Tag TEG Media, so it's all one word, TEGMEDIA.org. Tickets are 2 for $30 or 1 for $20. What else are you doing on St. Patrick's Day? Come and have some laughs with me. Happy hour starts at 4 o'clock. The show starts at 8. That's Thursday, March 17th.
And Kevin Jeffrey says the other gentleman with Ari Spears is Andy Steinberg, and he says he's going to be actually with them this weekend, hanging out with Ari Spears and Andy Steinberg. So good stuff from Kevin Jeffries. And hey, I'm glad to have you on. You was on for the whole hour with me. Good stuff. Check her also out. She's auditioning for Sugar to Play,
right?
Which is Gloria Shay's production, which you guys see the promo for that. We're going to be updating that promo pretty soon with those who end up landing the parts. So we're going to make sure we take care of that and get ready to get out of here so you guys can check out my man Matty C Sports for You and Me, and Happy Hour with Lito. I got to thank everybody who bought the hats. Check these guys out. Sporting the Sinister One Productions hats. They are sold out. I've got to get my butt in gear and get myself my hoodies that my son's been asking me for. These are all the shows that I produce. Make sure you check them out. Support them. Talk Back with Gloria Shea. She's got Kenyon Glover on her show this Saturday. Matty C Sports for You, Me, Happy Hour with Lito are coming up in the next hour and a half, and then we got Oscar Mike Radio on Thursdays, and then there's my t-shirt winner Felicia and Mike Smith. A7FL, I'm in conversation with them to get back on this show to talk about this new football league, No Pad Football Tackle League, that's coming on, and there's a final picture of myself with Mr. Melodic. He performed at Club Jewel last week with my artist Viana Marie. She was in the house, and Gilberto. What's up to these guys? Mr. Melodic is affiliated with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and we had a good time at the show this past week.
Sit down. Do something else! Do something else! That's it! That's all we want!
That's all I want.
Do something else! Holy
Oh, man. We got to get out of here. Kevin Jeffrey says, I need another beanie. Beanies are gone. Kevin Jeffrey says he's actually going to be at the Columbus, Ohio Funny Bone. That's where he's going to be this weekend with those two guys.
Well, tell him that CC Bullock would love to share the stage with him. Just give me a call or message me.
If you can get down there. Kevin Jeffries, hit her up, man. Kevin Jeffries, hit her up. Let her know that you guys are going to be down there. That's Cheryl Bullock on Facebook. We want to reach out to her and jump on that. And that's it, fellas, ladies, everybody for tuning in, everybody who's in the chat. Good stuff. And we'll be here next week. As you guys saw, I got Rap Group Massholes are going to be on with me next week. And then the week after that is Newbie Rateau, Emmy Award winner Newbie Rateau, whose new film, I Am You. And hey, SpongeBob, do me a favor, take us home.
Well, see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for listening to The Booth on Hoobazoo and HatcherRadio.com. Please follow the Facebook page and subscribe to the podcast at Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. The Booth is a Sinister One production hosted by Sinister One.
I've got to start hanging out with friends that are a little more intelligent and understand politics and stuff. It's just that I'm up on this level up here, and all my friends are down here. Me, nah. You guys, nah. Maybe a little more down in here. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I smoke, I drink, I do my thing. These bitches hating, so you know I got to make it plain. Don't do cocaine with your chick, my main. We stick together, true forever, yeah, you know we bang. I miss those days, which was easy. If only I make it, this on repeat. Now that I done upgraded, I've been upstate, but y'all think I'm playing. And I got a hit now for these weak assholes who think I ain't slaying. Try me, and I'll probably end up laughing, cause I never back down. I'm that chick with a clean ass whip, I don't need that shit, I got my own now. I get hurt, I get tired of fussing, fighting, guess I gotta crack down. Don't mess with me, cause on everything, I'ma have to bring the whole city out.
WHOOBAZOO, that's Hoobazoo.com.
Enter your website.